Good morning. I'm Al Bissmeyer, Global Vice President with Viamedici, and I'm very pleased that we have a success story to share with you today about Schlüter-Systems. We're very fortunate to have Anna Van Kleef, who is the program manager for digital product information management at Schlüter-Systems, and we have Joe Albrecht, who is the CEO of Xngage, one of our partners who specializes in e-commerce and PIM and has done a number of successful implementations and has worked with the Schlüter solution that we'll be looking at today. Before we get started, I'd like to quickly, give an overview of Viamedici. So, Anna and Joe, I'm sure we'll get to you in a minute here, but quickly we'll give a brief overview of the company, and then Anna, we'll get to the good stuff with you. So, Viamedici is a global provider of product information management, master data management, digital asset management, and dynamic configuration. We're actually the only company that provides a platform that has PIM and configuration and MDM and DAM as part of an integrated solution set. We have a large representation in Europe. We started out in Germany and the DACH region, expanded through Western Europe, and have representation in North America and Asia Pac, and we're growing very quickly. One of the things we've been very happy about and prided ourselves on is the analyst reviews of our product, the technical capabilities, but more so it's the peer reviews and what our customers have been saying about us and the retention rate that we have with our customers. So we have a 99.3% customer retention rate and very successful and happy customers. And obviously, we're very fortunate to have Schlüter talking about their success today. We've had a significant growth in our web and cloud-based capabilities, and we've been seeing very good reviews with Forrester and Gartner and IDC and a number of the leading analysts. Next slide, please. If you look at our customers, they really kind of cover the gamut. We have customers in the medical distribution business, pharma, biotech, building supply, automotive. So there's always a need for product information management as well as master data management. One of the unique things about our customers is many of them have multi-language requirements. So typical customers for us are managing 30 to 40 languages in markets across the world. Many of our customers have SAP as a backend, probably 80% of them. And in terms of building supply, we have a very good representation of building supply customers. In Europe, and actually in the German region as an example, 3 of the top 5 building supply manufacturers utilize the Viamedici EPIM solution. And we have customers globally that are using us to localize their product sets and have information available throughout their supply chain, both from the buy side as well as on the sell side of the solution sets that are out there. We have a number of different applications and use cases that we have. And I think our product set really lends itself to work with the stringent requirements from B2B and manufacturing in terms of the way we work through data modeling. Next slide, please. So if you look at our architecture, the central piece here really talks about the PIM solution. And so we have a solution that really is very robust. It has where you manage all your digital assets, you manage your product data, and you also manage your channels that you're utilizing. One of the things that's unique to our solution is we also have an advanced workflow capability. So you can have an approval process as you're bringing things into usage, whether it be the digital assets that you're utilizing or the product information that you're utilizing. And we also have AI capabilities, so we can actually do auto translation and localization. We have an ability to look at product information and categorize that information. And once the information is brought in and brought into the system, then we work through data quality to get it to a quality level that is required for the organization. And then we put it into a data store. And so once it's in the data store, it's available for real-time distribution to any system that needs it. If you look to the left of this, you can actually see a number of applications that we have. And so some of the things that we do in concert with the PIM solution is we actually have dynamic configuration, which is being used pretty heavily in the building and construction industry to configure products and make products in lot sizes of one. We've recently added a sustainability engine that allows us to actually do digital product passports, electronic product declarations, and actually work through those types of things, as well as ESG reporting, and look at forever chemicals and the composition that are associated with that. And then we have a number of portals that we have. So portals for supplier onboarding to actually bring products into an organization, as well as a sales size portal that allows you to actually have a lens into products that you're able to purchase from one of our manufacturers. So you can actually look at specific products that are available to you. And then we have an advanced API capability that allows for connectivity to other business applications, or both internal and external within an organization. So this is a view of the platform. Next slide, please. So from a PIM perspective, one of the things that I alluded to very briefly is that it's all about the data modeling. And we provide a dynamic data model and the ability to have multiple models within an organization. And one of the things that we look at in terms of a differentiator from a Viamedici perspective, as well as from a customer perspective, is the ability to actually deal with large volumes of data and complexity. So being able to inherit product information to multiple assets that use it within a hierarchy, being able to reference that data within your hierarchy and your product mix, and being able to have multiple models as you're working through product data. So you may have a model for engineering, a model for marketing, a model for packaging or a local region, or you may have a distribution subset with regards to information that you want to send out to various groups. And the real-time aspect is also a key differentiator within our solution. So being able to have that information available at the ready for any organization that needs it within your value chain. Next slide, please. The other key thing that I wanted to highlight is just the configurator. So many of our customers in the building supply industry are using us for configuration. And so dynamically, you can actually either utilize the information that's within the PIM system in terms of attribute sets that are configurable, and then or you can have it be standalone. So it can stand alone as its own configuration solution without a PIM, or without our PIM, if you will. And what that allows for is the ability to actually quickly create a new product set, or to configure a product to your specific specifications. And we have a number of customers that actually started out thinking that they would make the product information available to their business customers, and then the customer would in turn configure a product and then send it to an inside salesperson for review, and then allow for ordering. And what we found out is that many of our customers made this available to their customers, and ultimately what started happening is the customers were able to configure the products specifically that they wanted and place the order with circumventing the need for inside sales, and have sales review over time. They became more confident with the tool set. So it's a very valuable and powerful tool set that we see that's expanding. Next slide, please. The other thing that's really expanding is our portal capability. So we're seeing more and more customers that are using supplier portals to onboard information into the PIM system, where they're either white labeling product as a pass-through, or they want the quality of the products or components that they're using to be managed from the supply side. And then on the sell side, they want to be able to make it so that they can have products available to people that are part of their sales value chain, and they can look at the products that are very specific to them. And so this can be used for an inside sales tool where your key account salesperson is selling to a specific customer, and it's like a controlled empowerment. They're only looking at the products that are available for that customer. Or you can have it be made available to your end customer, where they can just look at the products that they've already negotiated for with you to actually purchase those products and work through, so that they're not working with products that they don't have access to. Next slide. we've done a lot with AI. We've been doing AI for quite some time. Some of the new things that we've done is we've created a co-pilot capability in AI Hub. The AI Hub lets you work with AI within your firewall, but it also exposes you to be able to utilize external tools as required from an AI perspective. We do auto translation and localization, and we also do auto image recognition and categorization in terms of image recognition. And the next thing we're working on is a product data expert, which will allow us to categorize product information. So that's the next release that we have from an AI perspective. Next slide. And last but not least, an area that's really taking off and we're seeing a lot of is sustainability. So in Europe specifically, digital product passports are becoming a mandate, as well as looking at chemical usage and what's going on from that perspective. And ultimately, we have partnered with Sustain 360, and it's an integrated part of our solution set. So when you take a bill of material and you put it into our PIM system, then you can interrogate the data and actually determine chemical or material composition that's in there and create a digital product passport and an electronic product declaration, two things that are required in Europe as well as in California and United States, not DPP, but the actual information for California environmental requirements. And we'll see more and more of that in the United States. We're seeing more in terms of forever chemicals and the minimization of those. With that, that's a quick overview. And now we got to get to the good stuff because Anna has a great story about Schluter. And I'm sorry it took so much time with my stuff. But Anna, take it away.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy for everyone who registered today for this webinar and thankful for the opportunity. I hope at the end of this webinar, it's pretty obvious to everybody how Schlüter-Systems manages global product data, how we set the basis to increase market share, and why the cooperation between Schlüter-Systems, Viamedici, and Xngage is a perfect fit. In total, there are 4 slides from my end. There are 2 background slides that give a company introduction as well as an overview of our challenges before the implementation of the Viamedici EPIM. And after that, I will shed light on what we included as part of the MVP and will elaborate on the benefits of how we are now handling product information on a global basis. To kick us off, I would like to give a brief overview of Schlüter-Systems, which was founded back then in 1966. The majority will most probably know the most famous product, the Schluter Schiene, which was invented as tile protection profile that you can also find at the bottom of this slide. As you can, over time, we have evolved to a market-leading manufacturer in the construction industry of installation systems for ceramic tiles and natural stone. And as you can read also from the company name, our focus is on systems instead of individual products. This year, we are also celebrating 50 years of Schluter Schiene. Back then, we started with around about 8 SKUs, and there was definitely no need for a PIM system. But since the Schiene was invented, the product portfolio has been steadily expanded and today comprising more than 12,000 products. Our headquarters are based in Iserlohn in Germany, and we have subsidiaries in North America, so in the USA and Canada, as well as in the United Kingdom, in Italy, Spain, France, and Turkey. And Germany, as well as the location in Plattsburgh in the US, are our main locations where we also produce our products. The company was set up by Werner Schlüter, and Schlüter-Systems is still family-owned with Werner and his sons Udo and Mark representing the management. Today, we have more than 2,400 employees worldwide, and approximately 800 of these are based in our headquarters in Iserlohn. Next slide, please. In the past decades, we have experienced substantial growth as a company. Of course, this has a high number of positive effects, but on the flip side, fosters challenges that we are facing with our supply chain of product information and how we are managing this information. As mentioned before, our R&D is centered in Germany and the US, and we are collaborating on a global basis when it comes to developing new products. So one of our biggest challenges was managing product information across global teams. In general, you can say product information was scattered all over the place and was stored in several places, such as in the heads of employees, in local drives, in Excel sheets, etc., etc. So requirements and information are handled in silos or were handled in silos and in separate files that were not visible to other departments. So as an interim solution and also as a bandage to our pain points, we implemented several very channel-specific PIM systems as standalone solutions. However, these were only feeding the respective output channels they were implemented for, so not really a PIM system per se. Especially as a market leader, we have a strong need for trustworthy product data in many different languages and challenges. So this, in conjunction with also increasing customer needs and product data requirements, represented a real challenge for us. And just to say, we are able to deliver the data. However, this is mainly possible, or was mainly possible, due to high manual effort and also dedication from everybody being involved in that. So to sum it up, there was little automation and also limited global understanding of commonalities. Next slide, please. After internal projects to develop a global data model and data processes, we started our PIM journey together with Viamedici and Xngage. So from an internal perspective, we staffed the project with team members from product management, as well as product and packaging engineers from the US and Germany. At this point, I need to give a big shout out to the team for the incredible dedication and also achievements. For the first project, we aligned to implement an MVP, so a minimum viable product. As part of this project, all sellable items, all item components, and all packaging items are available in EPIM. So as a manufacturer, we have very complex products that often consist of several components. Therefore, we decided to distinguish between sellable items, item components, and packaging items to be able to maintain product information on every item, on every component, and to make this available to internal and external customers. Of course, these PIM objects are linked by relations, which are also part of the MVP. In addition, a defined number of attributes is also available in EPIM, and the respective values for these are maintained. With having EPIM as a global system in place, we are also able to replace our current item master data process and to have the product data creation start in EPIM. This is really a huge benefit and enables our global teams to collaboratively work on product information. And this collaboration is also fostered by respective data quality indicators that have been implemented. With regards to integrating EPIM into our IT landscape, we initially focused on integrations to our ERP and DAM systems to let data sync back and forth. EPIM is also feeding other systems with product information and is replacing current reports. Doing so, we have the opportunity to get back to the original purpose of other systems, as we have exploited systems to do something that they are originally not designed for. With regards to outbound feeds, the MVP has already helped us incredibly to provide data to various retailers. And we have also set the foundation to syndicate data to other channels in the future. To summarize this MVP, we are striving for the implementation of a global PIM system that is supporting new product developments and serving as a single source of truth for the organization. We have done this, of course, with the objective of making product information available consistently and sustainably across the organization. And to do so, we have established a long-term partnership with Viamedici and Xngage to ensure our corporate vision of setting the benchmark in producing and also disseminating digital product information to internal customers, to our trading partners, and to digital channels. Next slide. Of course, we have not implemented a global PIM system because we are just able to do so, and there were no other tasks that we could have worked on, but because we had a massive need for this, as you have seen, and hence we would like to enjoy the benefits that I'm also about to present to you. So with the implementation of the global PIM system, the respective departments are enabled to maintain and own their data that they are responsible for. Back then, the new price list that we are distributing every year dictated the deadline when product information needed to be maintained in the system. And with a global solution in place, our product engineering projects are supported, and we are able to maintain product data actually when it is created, and it does not need to be requested when it is needed, which was the case before we implemented the system. Hence, EPIM delivers really the tremendous benefit of supporting the data flow through our projects to develop new products. It also enables us to localize product information to meet local regulations, but to have this information stored centrally, which is then also globally available to the organization. With the respective departments now being able to maintain the data they are responsible for, we are also fostering a higher data quality. And this becomes visible in the improvement of product information accuracy, completeness, and also trustworthiness. Because of the higher data quality results, we are able to achieve a high internal acceptance of the PIM system as a single source of truth. Although PIM is serving as a single source of truth, we have also, of course, established a proper roles and rights concept to ensure that everybody has access to the product information that is needed for their work. With the introduction of the global PIM system and joint global collaboration, we have sustainably introduced a uniform language for product categorizations. So in the past, every department and every software solution housing product information developed their own language and defined what they consider as, for example, a product family, a product variant, etc. And this is something we were really able to change in conjunction with the implementation of the global PIM system, so that we are speaking one global language within our company. Not only internal customers have access to validated product information, we are also able to deliver data to outbound feeds. And in the next projects, we will focus on automatizing such data deliveries to make sure product data is always up to date at our customers. So all in all, we are able to remove friction by automating and streamlining the life cycle of the digital twin for products. We are not only faster, we are accurate and aligned across departments. So the benefits are already that high, although we have only implemented an MVP solution for now, and the benefits will definitely multiply even more with future releases and follow-up projects. So just to sum up my part, EPIM didn't just give us a better tool. It really helped us solve real global business problems. And now we are not just keeping up, we are ahead of where we used to be. So our data is structured, agile, and working for us. And that has been the core value of our partnership with Viamedici and Xngage.
Thank you, Anna. That was a great story. I mean, it was very interesting to hear about all the different aspects that you're dealing with. And it's also exciting to hear that you're getting as much benefit out of an MVP as you are. So as it expands, it's going to be even more beneficial, which is very exciting. I think it's also great to hear about the acceptance and adaptation of the tool. I think obviously when you introduce some new technologies and new tools to a team, sometimes there's a reluctance to adapt and take it on. So that's good to hear as well. I think one of the questions I have, and you alluded to it a little bit, is you talked about the global effect, and I'm interested in kind of expanding upon that a little bit in terms of the global benefits of the PIM. What are the greatest things that you see in terms of your organization and what PIM has done for you globally as well as locally, but certainly the global aspect, because I know you're doing this on a global basis.
So EPIM is supporting our global mindset that we have within the company. So we are now fostering the mindset that we are one big global company. And this is now being supported by the implementation of Viamedici PIM. That is the first real global system that we are using, where we are also able to collaboratively work together on product information, so that we get away from siloed information files that house product information. So this has really been a big deal breaker. The respective parties are now able to own their data. And we also have, for example, global product managers that back then were not really able to maintain their data on a global basis. And it was not possible to maintain that centrally.
So this one's for you, Joe. This just came in. So when you approach a project like this with PIM and e-commerce and working with Schluter on an MVP, how is the approach, and can you give us a little bit of feel for the working with this from a development and implementation perspective?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me, Al. And it was really exciting to hear how Anna laid out the project and emphasized on the importance of it. It was certainly a tremendous engagement and still is. We are very honored to work with Schlüter-Systems on this global engagement. And to answer your question, I think this goes to the prior question, right? What is important for Schluter is to operate as a global company across the Atlantic Ocean and working with teams that own product information respectively in their markets, and yet they have a desire to create a unified product information management solution. So it was really crucial, and that was made clear to me from the start by Anna and her team. They needed a partner who could operate in both cultural spaces, who could stretch across the Atlantic, could bring the team together and collaborate as a joint team between Viamedici, Schluter Germany, Schluter US, and really facilitate the project, not only on a technical level, but really in a PIM engagement like this, of this kind of a size. There is a lot of process, a lot of governance, a lot of change management that has to occur. And so that was key to bring the capabilities to the table to work in this integrated fashion. I think that really stood out for us also as an organization that primarily has been operating in North America and Canada. So yeah, it was and is a great engagement across the pond.
Very interesting. Good insight there. So Anna, here's a question. What efficiencies has your team gained by using the PIM system? You alluded to some of them, but I mean, can you point to some specific efficiencies that jump out at you with regards to this implementation, or MVP, if you will?
Yeah, first of all, we have established a single source of truth for product information for the organization. So we have gained transparency. In addition, we have a higher consistency and also accuracy of product data by also providing a standardized format and a set of rules for information. So that has really helped the teams considerably. And we are now also able to facilitate the distribution of product information across multiple channels, including our websites, catalogs, etc. So we are still working on the foundation for this. However, we will even benefit more from this moving forward. And in general, we are more efficient when it comes to data maintenance because we can directly maintain this information in a global system, which we back then needed to maintain in an Excel file, for example, first, before it got then transferred into a system.
That's interesting. So here's another question that kind of it builds on that a little bit. So I know you have multiple models. You have a model for R&D, you have a model for marketing, and a model for packaging. And do you use information from each model as it's going through to kind of coordinate across the groups, or are they separate, or how does that work? Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Be interesting.
Yeah, sure. So we have separate, as you have just said, separate data models. So FOE really for individual components, housing information for R&D mainly that is used internally, but also for product specifications and such. We have packaging components and another hierarchy for sellable products, mainly focusing on marketing and commercial use. And these are all linked, but they also keep their unique role. So we have references between this information. So it is the case that some information out of, for example, the component sections is referenced to the sellable items. And this is really helping the teams to only maintain data once, and then it gets referenced to the other objects where it needs to be available.
And one of the great benefits, Al, of this setup, Anna, if I may add to this, is really the desire that existed early on to not only represent product information of items that are sold, that are ready, but to capture the entire product development lifecycle. Schluter, being an extremely innovative manufacturer of products, has constantly products that are being researched and developed, right? And the key goal here from a business impact point of view was to capture the information for products already in the R&D phase. That would then afford work streams to be happening in parallel. While the product is still in manufacturing or in R&D, marketing could prepare for the product launch that might happen 6 months later. So this idea to manage the product life cycle moved into the PIM system, which actually speaks also to the product of Viamedici, right? Being able to cover aspects of what otherwise would maybe live in a PLM or other systems.
Well, that's really interesting. So I don't know if you can share this or not, but has it cut your new product introduction life cycle in terms of the speed with which you can introduce products?
This is very difficult to measure as of now, as we went live a couple of months ago. And I'm not 100% sure if we have already launched a new product since then that started with a product data creation in EPIM itself. But I'm sure when it comes to at least data entry, we are way more efficient and faster with EPIM being available. But if we are really able to cut down our product launches to a certain degree, that I cannot judge. I don't know.
Okay, no, that's great. And then you also mentioned sharing information with your partners downstream in terms of I guess retailers and distributors and this type of thing. And it sounds like right now you're doing that kind of like with a CSV export type of thing, but maybe we'll be moving to the data store. Is that kind of where you're going with this, or what's the process there?
Yeah, this is true. So the first project was really done following the MVP approach, where we then mainly focus on CSV exports to make these available to our customers. However, for the future, we are considering using the data store, as you have just said, where all retailer-specific configurations can live and evolve in one place to push out data to various outbound feeds. So with this, data will be made available in real time to any customers, and that way we can also scale as we expand into new retail partnerships without reinventing the wheel each time. So this is definitely on the horizon, or at least anticipated as of now.
That's great. So, Joe, can you give me a quick thumbnail on Xngage? I know, obviously, I've worked with you, but for the folks that are on the line here, it'd be great for them to hear all the great stuff you do, especially around e-commerce and PIM. So give us a little thumbnail, if you would.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Al. Xngage is a services firm, digital services firm that exists since over a decade, helping manufacturers and distributors exclusively in their digital journey, right? And specifically, our focus is on connecting buyers with sellers and powering those interactions with digital means. That includes services that help us engineer everything that has to do with translating product experiences online, allowing customers to purchase, to self-serve, and obviously this includes product information management. So our company is anchored around 4 key service areas. There's the consultative side around product information management as well as e-commerce. Then there is the executional piece, the technical software development team that can execute those kinds of initiatives, from integrating into all sorts of ERP systems, PIM platforms, all the way to creating customer experiences online. And then there's our PIM practice that helps specifically manufacturers like Schlüter and distributors in implementing PIM systems and organizing product data, as it is the currency of doing business in this day and age. And finally, we have a digital growth team that can help our clients understanding channel performance online, customer engagement, and those kinds of things. That's it in a nutshell.
Well, that's great. I think you left out 2 things that are pertinent, Joe. One is that you guys have operations in the U.S. and Europe as well as the Middle East. So that's one thing that jumps out at me. And another thing that jumps out at me specifically for this project is that you have folks that speak both English and German. So you can work with companies that are moving into the U.S. from Germany. So thanks a lot for that, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, Al.